What's up, everybody? This is Whiskey in the Six. I'm Rob. Today I am reviewing Kavalan Solist Pedro Ximenez Solist. Alright, that's what the bottle looks like. I don't have the bottle, but I have these high-end Kavalan distillery only samples. As you can see, it says Pedro Ximenez Solist on there, and it's 54%. Okay. It came in a set of 3. If you watched one of my previous videos, I did a head-to-head with the Amontillado, which is this bottle, but I only did the same sample, half of the sample anyway, and the Manzanilla. Okay, so I'm thinking when I do the reviews of these ones that things are gonna change, and I've given this already 20 minutes to sit in the glass. Alright, I've given it the most opportunity it's gonna get to be as good as it possibly can get. I decided to start with the Pedro Ximenez because of the 3 that I sampled first. I like this one the least, but that might change. Okay, I really like the Amontillado and I really like the Manzanilla, but I also really liked the Pedro Ximenez. It's just, compared to the other 2, being lighter sherries, they were a little bit more in my wheelhouse, whereas sometimes the really thick sherries in that hot Taiwanese climate can be overbearing a little bit. Like I found the Oloroso Sherry Solist was a touch overbearing. Okay, but on the other hand, the lighter Vino Barrique is one of my favorite whiskeys. So we'll see what giving this a little bit more time in the glass and taking a little bit more time with this whiskey will do. According to the distillery, this is Kavalan's Whiskey Classic Collection. It's a new make spirit matured in PX sherry casks, which produces a unique special character and flavor with classic fruity, nutty, and chocolate aromas. Okay, so I'll see about that, but this one, San Francisco Global Spirit Award in 2016, it won a gold. All right, this year, 2017, it won World Whiskey single barrel or single cask whiskey of the year for one category. I'm not exactly sure how that works because I know the Manzanilla won as well, and I know that the Amontillado won last year with these awards. There's a million awards. It's kind of confusing how it all shakes down, but these are highly awarded whiskeys. Okay, this particular sample set was sourced to me by Larry from the administrator of Kavalan. Super cool guy. If you're able to buy from him, I highly recommend it. I didn't purchase this. I acquired this sample set and the bottle of Amontillado Solist in a trade, but he has very reasonable prices, so check him out. Yeah, without further ado, I'm going to actually nose this and then taste it. Okay, so on the nose, it's much more pleasant than the Oloroso Sherry Solist, which is this red cask right here, or red case, sorry. So I do pick up some fruit on this one, and a friend of mine pointed out that he picked up a lot of strawberry. I don't pick up fresh strawberry, but I pick up maybe like a strawberry jam. I do get that sense a little bit. I went strawberry picking with my wife and son last week, and as you're approaching the field where the strawberries are, you get a strong strawberry jam type smell. It's because as people are walking through, I guess they squish some of the strawberries. That's kind of what I'm picking up here. So it's not necessarily a fresh, it's more like a baked, earthy strawberry smell, because the sun's beating down on these strawberries as they're getting squished, kind of cooking them a little bit. Super pleasant nose, much better than the Sherry Oloroso Solist. A little bit of nuttiness here too. I tend to pick up peanut butter with PX finishes or aged whiskeys, but I'm not sure I'm getting that this time. Maybe the extra time in the glass has opened it up a little bit differently. Just gonna get you to look at the color and the legs on this glass. It's very syrupy, okay? It's 100% natural color and it's non-chill filtered. So you can tell by the legs on the glass, it's super sticky with a super dark mahogany type color. This is roughly between 5 and 7 years old. My bottle of Amontillado is 7 years old, but this sample set doesn't actually say how old each one is. So I'm gonna say it's probably about 5 to 7, anywhere in that range. It's 54%, which often indicates that it might be a bit older because it's a little bit lower. Some of these go up to 60% ABV. So this could be a little bit older than 5-6 years. Maybe it's probably around 7 years, but I could be wrong. Okay, on the palate. Got a button missing over here. So you don't get those savory spices that you would with the Oloroso Solist. Much more on the sweet end here with chocolate, coffee. Okay, in the notes it says rosemary, lemongrass, citrus fruit, caramel, honey, oak. I honestly don't pick up very much of any of that. I'm getting more chocolate. Really nice finish. A little bit of that strawberry that we were talking about earlier. Definitely don't need to add a drop of water to this. You're almost doing it a disservice, in my opinion, if you add any water to these. They are made to be consumed this way. I always mess up the tense on drinking, so. Just a beautiful, welcoming nose. Much better than, and it was really good the first time I tried it, but this time around it's up a level for sure. Maybe because it had some time to oxidize in this little container. The oxidization of whiskey often benefits the whiskey. Sometimes it takes away from the whiskey, but in this case it's definitely benefiting, and it will for the most part with cask strength whiskey. Okay. Doesn't burn the tongue almost at all. You know it's a little higher in alcohol abbreviation, but sorry, not abbreviation, ABV, but very nice notes. It's sweet, but not too sweet. It has that dark chocolate with a mix of lighter chocolate, a little bit of that strawberry jam, a touch of oak in there, on the finish especially. And that kind of reminds me of like a coffee espresso type taste. I don't take sugar with my espresso, so this is sweeter than what my espresso would taste like. Really, really nice long finish. Okay. We're gonna talk price for a second here because these are not cheap whiskeys, all right? Larry lives in Taipei and he's able to get these directly from the distillery, I believe. But for the most part, if you're looking to buy these in the United States, they're coming to the United States very shortly if they're not here already. And the PX is gonna go for 600 American, all right? In Alberta, I believe there's a couple places that have the PX for around 580 to 650 Canadian, which is actually really well priced. But I'm not exactly sure where because this was a few months back when I saw the pricing. The Manzanilla was a little bit less. Manzanilla goes for 500 American in the US, and the Amontillado also goes for 500 American. So the most expensive of the three that I have in this sample set, which I can show you what it looks like inside, is the PX here. And it's really, really good stuff. Now, 600 American is not pennies. It's not peanuts for, I don't think, anybody. All right. Now, obviously, there are some rich people out there that can buy this eyes closed, but I'm definitely not one of them. So I'm glad I was able to try these in a sample set, and I'm glad I was able to acquire the bottle, which would have cost me 500 American, in a trade, because otherwise I wouldn't personally be able to afford these. Is it worth it? That's tough to say. It's really, really good whiskey. Have I had whiskeys that are much better than this? Probably not. Have I had whiskeys that are around the same? There's some Glendronics definitely that are around the same. And the only reason I'm comparing that is because Glendronach tends to use PX for some of their single cask expressions, and they're about 20 to 25 years old, often the ones that I've tried. So you're comparing a 20 to 25 year old Glendronach to a 5 to 7 year old Kavalan. All right, Kavalan loses a lot of whiskey to the Angel Share. That doesn't mean that they have the right to charge all these prices, but the quality is there, so that gives them the right, and they're winning all kinds of awards. And we'd like to believe that we live in a world where these awards are given justly. So if we take these awards for what they are, Kavalan's cleaning house lately. They're winning something every year, multiple awards actually every year, and this is definitely a really, really good whiskey. I'm gonna take one more sip and I'm gonna give it a mark. Okay, so it's very difficult, despite the price, for me to give this any lower than, I'm gonna say this is 89.90 material. So I'm gonna go with the A, just because I don't have a full bottle to give it, you know, several goes and make sure that I'm confident in that A+. But this could easily be an A+. All right, this strikes me as the type of bottle that just gets better as it goes down the line. All right, when you get to the midpoint, it starts to get into its ideal zone. All right, really, really good stuff. It's at an 89.5, I would say, for me. Okay, if I had to give it a solid mark, that's an 89.5, which is an A for me. You have to hit the 90 mark to get the A+. I liked the Vino Barrique better from what I remember, but it's very difficult because your palate constantly changes. I've done whiskey reviews in the beginning of this journey that I probably would change the mark to now if I had to re-review them. For example, the Glendronach 18-year-old, I believe I gave it a high A. It was an 89. If I was able to source another bottle of this, I'd probably give it an A+. It's one of my favorite whiskeys. It constantly stands out to me whenever I think what I want in a whiskey. As you guys know, I'm a huge sherry fan. But that doesn't mean I discriminate. Recently I did the Octomore video, and I'll actually post that in the corner, either down here or up here. I don't know where I'm gonna have more space, but all of those are heavily peated. I don't think any of them are sherried, maybe very little if any, and they're fantastic whiskeys. So I'm not just giving high marks to whiskeys that are, you know, sherried. I will be doing the review of the Octomore 6.1 after I finish this sample set, or after I do this Glendronach cast strength. Haven't fully decided. I can't remember what order I said I would do it in, but really, really good stuff. If you have the money and you don't mind shelling it out, you are not going to be disappointed with this one. If you can get it for anything under 600 bucks, I think that's good. That's good money. And that's 600 Canadian. So 600 American for a Canadian is a steep price. You're looking at close to 800 bucks. Whereas if you can get it for under 600 Canadian, I think that's definitely a buy, because if you plan on keeping it, it's probably going to go up in price, because that just seems to be the case with all of these Kavalans, Japanese whiskey as well. Although this is from Taipei in Taiwan, it seems like Asian whiskey is just skyrocketing in price, much like Scotch. So 89.5, I probably would give this an A+, so don't quote me on that if I was given a little bit more to judge. But based on this, based on my first experience with it, combining the two, I'm going to give it an 89.5, all right, which is an A. Really, really good stuff. I hope you guys had a chance to watch the 12 Hours of Boom yesterday. I was featured in one of the episodes. Myself, Scott, and Bart reviewed or talked about the Octomore 6.1, all right? They did an awesome job, by the way. What they did yesterday was really, really, really hard to do. They are revolutionizing what what whiskey reviewing is all about, all right? They've changed the game. They are awesome guys. They are the reason the whiskey fabric is what it is today. And if you guys haven't subscribed to them already, I highly, highly, highly recommend you go check them out, because they're really, really cool guys. They're genuine guys, and they don't want anything from anybody. They just want to have a good time, all right? And they showed that yesterday. They had a huge fan base watching them for 12 hours straight, and that says a lot about how good they are at what they do and how entertaining they are as people. All right, so check them out if you haven't already. Check out the 12 Hours of Boom. It was super, super cool, and it was a great thing to be a part of it. And they plan on doing it every year, and I think one day this will be something we all look back at and be like, wow, that's where it all started. So check them out. I will have a subscribe button probably appearing right about now. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, you guys can check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you are interested in becoming a patron, all right, I'm gonna be starting to do something with my patrons. We're gonna figure it out in the next little while, but anything helps. It helps with paying for all of this expensive whiskey here. Hopefully getting some new technology for this channel so that it starts to appear a little bit better for you guys. All right, that's about it.